Hey, what's up guys, John here. Joe Biden just made an announcement that we are going to begin closing down coal plants nationwide.
The new rules would force coal and natural gas-fired power plants to shut down.
Biden administration's plans to phase out coal.
We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America.
I'm not telling you this, I'm going to let him tell you. And then you can kind of see what's going to happen next. Hillary Clinton made a statement, I'm going to show you that as well.
We're seeing and beginning to pay attention and to count and record the deaths that are related to climate, and by far the biggest killer is extreme heat.
And show you how these dots really connect so you can see what's about to happen to the housing market, the real estate market, the overall economy, and the country of America as a whole. Since this country was founded in 1776, we've seen a lot of change. It all pales in comparison to the change coming in the next 5, 10, 15, and 20 years. In this video, I'm going to break it down, show you what's coming in the next 5 years. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share this content to educate more people about what's happening in America. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video. Schedule a free strategy session. Take advantage of what I believe is going to be the greatest wealth transfer in American history. If you have bad credit, the odds of you getting funding or financing to invest pretty much slim to none. Take a look at this. So this just came out last night.
Massachusetts, about a month ago, on the site of the largest old coal plant in America. Guess what? It costs them too much money. They can't count. No one's building new coal plants because they can't rely on it, even if they have all the coal guaranteed for the rest of the existence of the plant. So it's going to become a wind generation. And all they're doing is going to save them a hell of a lot of money, and using the same transmission line they transmitted the coal-fired electric on. We're going to be shutting these plants down all across America.
Yep.
Massachusetts.
Shutting these down all across America. Now, you have to ask yourself, if America is heavily dependent on coal for electricity to power these buildings, how are people going to get heat? How are they going to generate electricity? Well, fortunately for you and for me, there's a solution here. And this solution is going to change everything we know about housing and about real estate, about office, about, you basically going into the office and working, right? Everything is going to change when it comes to these structures. Take a look at this. This came out about, call it a year and a half ago, March 14, 2022. Microsoft and Bezos are backing this startup that aims to retrofit millions of old buildings with green energy. Whew, what a relief, right? So look at this. In a 4-story apartment building in Brooklyn, New York, a small company is implementing a very big idea: electrify every building in the United States by leasing landlords and necessary equipment to make the transition. Block Power is a Brooklyn-based startup that has greened more than 1,200 buildings in New York City and similar projects in 2 dozen other cities. It uses lease-to-own platforms, offering landlords and homeowners green heating and cooling systems, electric appliances, solar panels. It installs the equipment and manages its upkeep. Landlords make monthly payments to cover those costs and offer returns to investors. The company reports it has reduced building energy costs by 30 to 50% and reduced greenhouse gas emissions 40 to 70% in current projects. It says it can reduce U.S. greenhouse gas emissions 25% in 10 years and recapture up to 30% of millions of dollars in wasted energy spent. Now let's look at this. This is really interesting. So when we look at this and we say, oh my God, look, a great opportunity to save the planet and make a little bit of money by focusing on what we have here, right? Well, here's how it works. It's a 10-year lease. So Block Power leased the equipment for about 10 to 15 years to the property owner. And after enough money has been taken in to pay back investors and for Block Power to collect its fees, the ownership of the equipment is transferred to the building owner. Only 10 to 15 years of making those payments. Well, here's how it's going to work. Early Block Power backers include Andreessen Horowitz, Exxon, American Family Insurance, Schmidt Family Foundation, Goldman Sachs, Urban Investment, Caper Capital, Salesforce. Then in January, I got a big debt infusion from Microsoft. That's pretty nice, bringing its total funding to about 100 mil. Just got another $5 million grant from the Bezos Earth Foundation to digitally map 125 million buildings across America, so each one of these buildings will have a free plan for how to become environmentally sustainable. So I mean, that's good. Jeff Bezos wants to give you something for free, right? So, 125 million buildings. He spent $5 million on that. So, let's take a look at how this whole thing is going to kind of play out here. So, look at this. So, here's this from Hillary.
And beginning to pay attention and to count and record the deaths that are related to climate, and by far the biggest killer is extreme heat. I mean, even in Europe last summer, which has the ability to count and figure out what happened, they recorded 61,000 deaths because of the heat in Europe. We don't have that kind of number yet from Africa, Asia, Latin America, but we know and estimate that we probably could measure about 500,000 deaths. And the majority of those are women and girls, and particularly pregnant women.
The key word there, though, was yet. It says we don't have these numbers yet to determine the real impact. Once these numbers start to get produced and you start to turn on the television, whether you watch CNN or Fox or CNBC, and the numbers on the right of the screen showing, the amount of, casualties that week or that month, it's going to become more and more and more in your face. And there's going to be more of a demand for change, because I believe this is probably what's going to happen here. But when you look at, this December 2nd, Biden admin commits to shutting down coal plants and push for, this is New York Post. Biden administration announced Saturday that the United States is committed to phasing out coal power plants nationwide and not building new ones as it moves ahead with its green agenda. The U.S. Special Envoy for Climate John Kerry announced at the annual United Nations Climate Summit in Dubai, called for COP28, that America is joining 56 other countries that comprise Power Past Coal Alliance, will be working to accelerate unabated coal phase-outs across the world, building stronger economies and more resilient communities. The first step is to stop making the problem worse, stop building new unabated coal power plants. It's unclear when existing U.S. coal plants would have to be shut, but other Biden regulatory actions, international commitments already in play have targeted 2035. So we're going to continue, I believe, every single 6 months, every year, we're going to see more and more and more of these plants shut down. And I think they're going to move up this goalpost from 2035 to probably 2028 or, in that range. But when you look at how fast this thing's progressing, and you see this lady right here, Alani, right? You can see her right here. And she's a part of something called Resilient Cities, which is the Resilient Cities Network. And, her title is the deputy, let's see here. She was I'll just pull it right here, the heat officer, right? She's the chief heat officer. And so, pretty important role. I didn't even know that existed, but pretty important role. I learn things every single day doing research for you. But when you start to look at this and you look at all of the changes that are going to be coming to a lot of these cities, these are some of the cities nationwide, by the way. I'll show you this here. So if you look at, this is just North America. So you look at North America, you see Atlanta, Berkeley, Boston, Boulder. You see a bunch of different cities. It's very, very similar to this here, where you can see all the cities listed. And with these cities, they have very, very, very big goals as well, which one of these goals is real estate, right? Real estate. And now I love real estate. 90 cents of every dollar I'm worth was made in real estate. But looking at the writing on the wall the last couple of years, things look like we're walking into big change in real estate. And I think one of these big changes is going to present a big opportunity to invest. But I think it probably makes more sense to kind of hold back and see what's going to happen. See what's going to happen with interest rates. See what's going to happen with this, this green movement. See what's going to happen with a lot of these loans that are going to be coming due. There's going to be a lot of change that's going to be happening throughout real estate, and there's probably more risk running out there investing right now, paying premium pricing with record high interest rates, with climbing insurance and taxes, than it might be just to kind of pull back and see what's going to happen. Now, for example, if you look at energy and buildings, it says they want to implement and enforce building energy regulations and mandatory performance standards for existing buildings, include measures to reduce embodied emissions for buildings, benchmarking whole life cycle emissions, incentivizing and implementing citywide actions towards grid decarbonization. Sounds right in line with this, right? Now you have to ask yourself, if these building owners are going to have to start to, find a new way in which they're going to be able to pull in affordable energy, then that's probably going to have a really high cost. And this high cost would then be incorporated at a time with very high borrowing costs. I mean, how are people going to be able to hold on? They're probably not going to, especially considering that a lot of commercial properties are going to be writing significant markdowns on their, on their portfolios. A lot of these syndicators, a lot of these large-scale real estate investors are getting ready to issue significant write-downs, and banks are going to be underwriting these loans based on the amount of risk being factored into the economy. Now, when you start to hear these statements all coming out at the same time, I think this is getting ready to position America for the greatest rug pull in commercial real estate, residential real estate, and the economy that we've ever seen. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop below. We'll have a conversation about this. I think it's going to be a situation in which if you have the answers to the questions before everybody else, you're going to be able to make smarter, more informed decisions. If you ignore everything that's happening, everything that's being said right now, what's ultimately going to happen is you're going to run out there, you're going to overpay for an asset, you're going to get into the wrong business, you're going to put yourself in the wrong position, and because of that, you're going to end up, taking some significant and unnecessary losses. I think right now, a lot of great information about the future is being revealed, and if you take this information and you take the right plan, the right strategy, and you couple it all together, you're going to be able to isolate yourself a little bit better than most people. Drop below, let's have a conversation about this, and if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com, click the link in the description just below this video, schedule a free strategy session. Catch you in the next video.